The fact that the president would take time out of her busy schedule to come visit us leads to the fact of the children understanding that they are important. She could have visited anybody else. She could have visited another school. We are the last school in Diego Martin. After us is C. So she coming down there, and it not only impacted the children, there was a whole buzz of excitement in the community.
One of the ways in which I would like to see the Office of President made more and more accessible is by having its facilities put to even greater use in hosting cultural, educational, and artistic ventures, particularly among the youth.
In Trinidad and Tobago, the presidency is a tapestry of people, progress, and purpose. And at the heart of our vibrant nation stands as a beacon of representation, sovereignty, service, and excellence. In 2023, we embarked on a journey to demystify this esteemed office, and with Her Excellency, President Christine Carla Kangaloo, ORTT, at the helm, that promise has deepened into a powerful reality. As we mark Her Excellency's third year in office, we invite you to see it, not just through official pronouncements, but through our eyes. From the quiet corridors of the President's house to the bustling heart of our communities, Her Excellency has maintained relentless commitment to her constitutional duties and a profound dedication to the people she serves. We now look at the last 3 years of the presidency, but not just through the lens of title or protocol, but through the eyes of those who've walked beside her, worked with her, and felt the impact of her leadership and presence. This is the Presidency Through Our Eyes. At the core of this tapestry of people, progress and purpose lies the President's duties and responsibilities, which are set out in the Constitution. Of particular importance are her duties to make official appointments and ensure good governance through the assent of bills. Through the official appointment of key figures to important offices, the President continues to shape the very fabric of our national institutions. These appointments can be made either at Her Excellency's sole discretion, upon consultation, or on the advice of the Cabinet. Since her inauguration in 2023, Her Excellency has exercised her constitutional authority to appoint over 250 individuals to various offices and to assent to bills passed by Parliament. Another important role of the President is that of diplomacy and ensuring good international relations as the office engages representatives from around the world. The presentation of credentials ceremony continues to be a cornerstone of forging strong diplomatic relations as foreign diplomats and representatives present their letters of credence to our head of state, the President. Since her inauguration, Her Excellency has hosted over 50 of these ceremonies, welcoming new envoys to Trinidad and Tobago, each bearing a letter of credence, empowering them to strengthen the bonds between our nations. The Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force comprises the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment or Army, the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, and the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves. As the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Her Excellency stands as the guardian of our nation's sovereignty. Since 2023, the President has hosted or participated in a range of military engagements, including attending Independence Day parades, hosting the Armistice Dinner at the President's house for the first time, presenting efficiency decorations and medals at 3 Defense Force Long Service Awards ceremonies, visiting troops at their bases in 2025, taking part in Remembrance Day observances, and approving a significant number of promotions. Beyond the formal appointments and ceremonies, courtesy calls serve as vital bridges, allowing Her Excellency to connect not only with diplomats, but with civil society organizations and individuals from across various fields of endeavor. The hosting of the annual Heads of Missions Dinner by their Excellencies is yet another tradition that opens the doors of communication and cements the relations between countries so that mutual benefits may be derived through trade, health, security, and other areas of necessity. As Chancellor of the Distinguished Society of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency presides over the National Awards Ceremony held on Republic Day, September 24, honoring those who have rendered distinguished service, demonstrated gallantry, or made meritorious contributions to our beloved nation. Her Excellency has thus far hosted 3 such ceremonies. In 2023, a distinctive new element to the annual celebration was introduced, with 6th form students bringing the honorees' stories to life through readings of their biographies.
It was an honor being selected to read the portfolios for the individuals at the award ceremony. Having met Her Excellency before the event, I would say it was an honor, given her position and her role in the decision making and such in this country. She would have calmed my nerves speaking with her, and it helped me a lot for the actual day of the event itself.
In this tapestry of people, progress, and purpose, Their Excellencies Christine Carla Kangaloo, ORTT, and Kerwin Garcia, SC, first, gentlemen extend their commitment through their roles as patrons of numerous esteemed organizations, a tradition inherited yet redefined.
Our young people are very happy when Her Excellency is around. In fact, they're extremely happy when their Excellencies are present, especially because Excellency takes the time to interact with them, takes the time to ask them questions about what they've done in the Scout movement, the badges they've gained, the work that they've done in their communities, and the things that they're doing to help other people.
My personal impact with His Excellency being the patron of the organization and also meeting him personally, it helps to, in my work as the executive officer, to advance the cause of persons who are blind. And one of our big ticket items coming out of a situation analysis that was done by the United Nations is awareness. Sometimes the problem is not the person with the disability, but people's perception of persons with disabilities. And Mr. Kerwin Garcia being our patron, it gives us that additional impetus to move forward to advance that cause.
In support of His Excellency's patronage of the Blind Welfare Association and affirming her unwavering confidence in the ability of differently abled persons to contribute meaningfully to national development, Her Excellency made history by selecting and appointing Mrs. Alicia Pauline Lalita Etienne as an independent senator, making her the first visually impaired individual ever to serve in this country's Senate. Through a program of school visits across the nation, Their Excellencies directly engage with our youth, educating students on the role and responsibilities of the President and sparking discussions about civic responsibility.
The impact on the students on Her Excellency's school visits was, wow, it was tremendous. The children accepted her greatly, a lot of respect, a lot of admiration, a lot of happiness, joy. I could even speak for my son. He was also part of those school visits and he was ecstatic that he met the President.
Since the launch of the program in January 2024, Their Excellencies have visited over 50 schools across Trinidad and Tobago.
When I was younger in primary school or secondary school, I did not experience any initiative where the President came to my school. However, it would have been really nice to experience something like that with the President because it would have been a great inspiration given that that is the highest office of the land.
Their Excellencies also regularly host story time at the President's House, an initiative designed to promote literacy, build self-confidence, and nurture a lifelong love of reading. Since its launch in 2023, Her Excellency has hosted 10 such sessions, welcoming Standard 3 students from over 25 primary schools. To date, more than 7,000 students and adults have also toured the President's House and its grounds since the launch of guided tours in 2024.
My classmates and I were very excited, but when we got out the mat, we felt nervous, but the President's comforting words made us feel comfortable.
Here, every creed and race finds an equal place, and Her Excellency has actively fostered inclusivity and dialogue by bringing together diverse communities and faiths under the unifying roof of the President's House. Over the last 2 years, Their Excellencies have hosted iftar celebrations at the President's House and in 2025 also hosted the first Spiritual Baptist Liberation Day exhibition and the first Ramlila celebration at the President's House.
It was definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to engage personally with Their Excellencies and I think by extension the student body as well. And the atmosphere of reflection and unity was something that I really appreciated.
From the annual lighting up of the grounds for Diwali to the annual children's Christmas party, the last 3 years at the Office of the President has brought life to a vision articulated. For the Office of the President, music was more than entertainment. It was national empowerment and a constant celebration of our unique cultural identity. Introduced in 2024, the annual President's Pan Camp was conceptualized to mirror the Panyard model. The Pan Camp has provided an opportunity for young persons to learn and hone their skills on Trinidad and Tobago's national instrument. Based on the data received, over 93% of participants surveyed have either joined their school or a community steel pan orchestra, while 100% reported feeling a sense of pride as Trinbagonians after participating in the camp.
The impact that was left on them, I think, was a deeper appreciation and love for the instrument. I've had many of them reach out to me, "Sir, I want to join a pan group in my school or in my community. Do you know anybody that I could talk to?" So I've put on a lot of them. We have many of them performing in bands in their communities. I have seen some of them for panorama, for junior panorama in their schools bands. So the impact left from the Pan Camp last year was one that inspired them to continue playing pan. And then those of them who probably have other interests, they now have a deeper appreciation for what we call our national instrument.
Her Excellency was also delighted to further elevate our national instrument by introducing a change to the presidential fanfare, which had traditionally been played on the trumpet. The fanfare is the short, musical piece that is played at official functions to mark the entrance and the exit of the head of state. In 2024, for the very first time, the fanfare was played and recorded solely on the steel pan by members of the Defense Force. Their Excellencies have hosted 3 Garden Series concerts at the President's Bandstand, alternating each year between Mother's Day and Father's Day. These beloved events have become a highlight on the calendar, drawing thousands to celebrate and enjoy the evening together.
Over the past year, and I'll even say beyond that, I'll say the past 2 years, this is now the 3rd, my interaction with the Office of the President, and in particular their Excellencies, has been, just phenomenal. They have been so gracious, accommodating, they've lent a listening ear. Everyone who works at the Office of the President have been supportive of the numerous ideas, looking at their Excellencies and the time that they dedicated, for instance, to spend time with the children of the President's Pan Camp, where every day, they came to the Pan Camp just to ensure that all of the children who participated and visited each day, that they were able to say, Mom, Dad, I met the President and the First Gentleman of Trinidad and Tobago. It's a fantastic representative of who we are as Trinidad and Tobago. The Office of the President, the highest office in the land, making it available to the people of Trinidad and Tobago for entertainment, arts, culture, steel pan, children, family, building, bonding and connectivity is really important, and I just want to commend their Excellencies and everyone who works at the Office of the President for welcoming us with such open arms time and time again.
For the last 3 years at the Office of the President, I would describe it as a period of steady progress and national engagement. When I assumed office, I felt that the Office of the President is more than ceremonial. It is an office that is very much symbolic of the aspirations of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So over the last 3 years, as President, I have attempted to engage the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago in a direct way. And in that way, I have gone across the country, across Trinidad and Tobago, engaging with citizens, engaging with communities. No organization is too small, no area is too far for the President of the country to not visit. Those engagements with the people of Trinidad and Tobago have really restored and reinforced my confidence in the resilience, the creativity, and the resourcefulness of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. At the Office of the President, we have also made adjustments to how we manage our internal processes, and those adjustments have led to a more efficient way of handling things. And of course, because of that increased efficiency, the Office of the President, is more connected, stays more connected to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm actually very proud of some of the changes that we have made to our processes, because that has allowed the Office of the President to be more relatable to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and more connected. Of course, a president has serious constitutional responsibilities, and over the last 3 years, there are issues that have come up. And of course, what I am proud of is the fact that there has been adherence to the Constitution, because there must be adherence to the Constitution, and that what has been done with consideration of all issues and with impartiality and a clear mind. Of course, being the President of Trinidad and Tobago does not come without challenges, and it would really be naive to think that such an office would not pose challenges to the office holder. When I became president, I had said very clearly that I would not be a president who would be shouting at anyone, and I am very happy that I have been able to maintain a certain discourse with everyone, with the people whom I serve, and that I've been able to do it without bitterness, without rancor, and without arguments in the public space, because I really think that the Office of the President has to stand for dignity to all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Finally, I want to say that over the last 3 years, I am so immensely grateful to the staff of the Office of the President. They have bought in to the vision that I articulated for the Office of the President, and they have bought into it with such enthusiasm. They go about doing their duties with such joy. So I am tremendously grateful to the staff, to security, to the Defense Force, to everyone who has just pitched in to make the vision that I have for the Office of the President achievable. I cannot also not extend gratitude to His Excellency, my husband, who is an indefatigable supporter of what I am doing, and his unstinting support is something that I will always treasure. So gratitude is what I want to end with. Gratitude to the staff, to my husband, gratitude to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because serving the people of Trinidad and Tobago is the greatest privilege that I will ever be afforded in life. So I thank the people of Trinidad and Tobago once again.